Let's be real, Wilson Bethel's Bullseye is Marvel's most sympathetic monster. Yeah, you heard me right. Not scary, not tragic, not anything else but sympathetic. And now, sympathetic ain't pity. A sympathetic character is someone you relate to someone you feel for, even when you shouldn't. So, how the hell do you sympathize with someone who's pure evil? And now, yeah, let's talk about this man's lore, which his real name is Benjamin/Dex/Poindexter. And he is a government-trained agent, a marksman with an Olympic-tier arm, while having OCD and kind of has a brain wired like a Molotov cocktail. He was abandoned, broken, and fine-tuned by the Kingpin to become a Daredevil imposter/serial killer with a much better jawline. But let's peel back the bloodstains, and then you see a man clinging onto structure like a drowning kid in a flood. The more he tries to control it, the more he violently loses control. And that's the trick here about Bullseye. He is pure evil, don't get it twisted. He's just wrapped in pure ache. But he's not terrifying because of what he does. He's terrifying because he makes us feel bad for the monster.
So if you're lonely, you know I'm here waiting for you.
Now, Bullseye didn't have a dark past. He was the dark past. And this kid, when he was a kid, Kid Dex, was out here executing animals for fun. He fantasized killing, and he really, he felt unapologetic for it. Not because he was bullied or bruised, because it just felt natural and not confused. And at face value, that's really game over, man. You gotta really wrap it up here. This kid is pure evil. And that's really the plot twist about this character, because Dex actually volunteered at the suicide hotline. He actually wanted to help people, not because he was healed, because he tried. He tried to care. He tried to have hope. And he even tried to find goodness, even where goodness is hard to find. Especially with these people who are on the edge of almost ending their lives, right? He has to be the first line of defense to help them, to convince them to not go through with it, to not commit to it. And that's why he latched on to Julie, not just because of her smile, but because she stood for peace, for calm, for direction, even for something that's worthwhile, But sadly, this isn't a redemption tale for Dex. It's the storm. And Dex knows how dangerous he is, and that's truly his norm. He warns people about it. He begs for restraint, not because he's a villain seeking fame. He's a man trying not to taint anything in his life here. And he's trying not to hurt nobody, even if his deepest nature calls for it. And that's sympathy. That's contradiction. That's a cracked reflection. He knows what he is, yet he wants connection. He wants to try to be more than what he is. And that's resistance, and that's what truly wrecks us viewing this character here. And the thing about this character is that Bullseye never really missed a shot, ever. But his life truly missed the mark.
I'm just a crosshead.
And the sad thing about Bullseye is that Bullseye doesn't crave order because he's trained. He craves it because chaos was his domain. His parents are gone, his childhood's wrecked, so the structure became a chain around his neck. There's nothing really holding him down. And that's why he needed his therapist to really root him in that structure, in these rules, and give him lines like, that must be hard, really hard. To give a man lines for sympathy, right? For empathy at that degree, so that he might not even cross that line anymore. So repeating it constantly might actually help him, might actually build this humanity in him. And Dex really did it perfectly, with no flex, honestly. He had perfect aim, perfect steps, perfect cortex, and a perfect vision. Just honestly, everything was perfect, even that perfect jawline. And with that jawline came a perfect smile, hiding the panic of his whole life. And that's why, when we see Julie here, Julie was his North Star, not because she was his crush or anything, but Julie was his clarity, gave him an image of a life that wasn't so scarce, he actually had something in his mind that he wanted to go for. And that's what's so amazing about this character, is because he actually saw hope for a glimmer of a second, there's something to hold on to grasp, right? But yet that perfection is so brittle, and one cracked down and he drowns, and when Kingpin took Julie away from him, and just Dex is absolutely gone, he went down. He loaded a gun aimed at his dome, just not out of rage, but because he knew that he couldn't roam no more. He knew that his existence might cause more damage than if he was gone. That's the sad thing about this character, is because he knows of his nature, and he tries to sustain it, and tries to suppress it to where he feels like it's safe for everyone to be around him. but he knows deep in his heart that he's a killing machine that is so dangerous that he is scared of that. And that's why Kingpin didn't save him whatsoever. Kingpin saw Dex as an asset, a broken man, and just made him reset back to his true primal roots. And that's why every little kill moving forward was more unleashed, more unhinged, because this is his true self. He reset a man who tried to fix himself and turned back the clock, and brought man at his most primal roots, at his most dangerous roots. And that's what's so tragic about this character, because we know and we see the monster right there in front of us, yet we can't help but feel bad for a man who tried to suppress that monster inside him. And that's why Bullseye's position isn't really bold. It was a glass sculpture in the cold. Behind every little flawless throw and move was a man who would be scared to lose his groove. And when he lost his groove, everything in his life and everyone else's life went to hell.
I'm just a shot away from you, and if you leave here.
Bullseye didn't wake up with sin, He just went to war with the void within his heart. He had therapy sessions, he did hotline shifts, he was searching for anchors before he drifts. And that's why Julie wasn't just an obsession, she was the light. He was obsessed with the light in her, and that's why he followed that beacon throughout the night. But of course, lights always fade, after constant use and constant abuse. And that's why when hope dies, monsters wake up and they see a world that is worth burning down, That's why Bullseye didn't just want to burn the world because he wanted to. He did it because there's nothing else to do, And absolutely, let's just give props to Wilson Bethel with this role as Bullseye. He absolutely kills it. Not with just his screams, but with a quiet control. You can see that twitch in his jaw and the glance that absolutely begs for some control, A man who is losing all control while gaining the little primal piece of him that he was so scared of, That's why he's amazing here, because he really, really brings that subtlety here. And it's devastating because it's whispers of doom. Dex really tried here, and that's what stings the most. He tried to be good, and he knew he'd fail, but he still gave everything to, he gave, and he created a structure for himself to do so much. And that's why it's so tragic for Bullseye, because he didn't fall because he liked the abyss. It's because he fell because he knew that the light no longer existed for him. And that's what hurts. It's not because of the kills, it's not because of the fights. It's because we watched a man who became a villain almost got it right.
You leave me broken, shattered alive. I'm just a crosshair.
And absolutely, let's just keep this real here that, Marvel got a villain machine on speed. Sometimes we laugh at these villains, sometimes we absolutely idolize these villains. But some of these villains truly cut deep in our chest. And that's Wilson Bethel's Bullseye. He is one of the best. And we really feel for him because we watched him fight. Fight for hope, fight for peace, fight for some sleep at night, something to, relax himself. Right? He tried to be better, try to be sane. He tried to outrun the thunder inside his brain, his own little mind that was so cruel to him and kind of tainted his entire life in the process. And that's why hope really gives us something to live for, right? It's something that we aspire to have every little day, and it's constantly fleeting here and there. And that's why it's truly the hope that kills you, because it really leaves us gasping for air, like Dex. So yeah, this guy is a monster. We don't have to pretend about that whatsoever. But he's a monster that wanted a different ending for himself. He's not dead, obviously, but we know that this isn't going to lead to redemption. This is just going to lead to more heartache for everyone else. And that's what makes Bullseye more than a malevolent villain, because he truly brings chills to the bone because of how much it shows us when it's all done for Bullseye. He didn't just miss a shot, but he missed the mark with his entire life.
I'm just a crosshair. I'm just a shot, then we can die.
Alright, so that was the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. My back hurts right now. More than Bullseye's back, of course. And yeah, I really tried rhyming with the script. Obviously, it's something tacky, but I had a lot of fun. And yeah, this is... I just really wanted to cover this character for the longest time, and I'm finally here covering him, right? He's just an amazing character. Big shout out to Wilson Bethel's Bullseye. Big shout out to Netflix's Daredevil. Big shout out to Netflix's Daredevil. And I don't know. And big shout out to Daredevil Season 2, or Born Again Season 2. Hopefully it's great. Knock on wood. If it isn't, we sigh. Anyways, so yeah, that's about it. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and let's keep it real with y'all. Hope y'all good. Hope y'all safe, and hope y'all healthy. And hope y'all had a great time watching this video, and I hope y'all had a great time for the rest of the day. Peace.